everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of the Little Dynamite Knits podcast. My name is Sarah, and I live outside of Philadelphia with my husband Brent and our 3 cats, Gustav, Gracie, and Gertie. Gustav is actually just on the other side of the camera, and he perked up quite a bit when he heard his name. Maybe if we're lucky, he'll make an appearance. What do you think, bud? As he closes his eyes. Okay. So it hasn't been that long since my last episode. I believe it was about a week and a half ago that I recorded up at the Creek House. To all of you who reached out to express your appreciation of the beauty of the Creek House, yeah. And it's even better in person. It is magical. It's one of our favorite places ever, and we look forward to that trip every year. So we're already looking forward to next year. Can't wait. Thank you to those of you who said happy birthday as I creep closer and closer to my mid-40s. Birthday month has been good, but it's been busy. I'm in my comfy chair today because I am tired. I'm so tired. I wasn't sure I was going to record this today, but had a little bit of motivation. I'm seeing people start to put up their Rhinebeck recap videos, so I got inspired. We are going to talk a little bit about my knitting projects that I have going on, and I am going to share the acquisitions that I was not able to share last episode when I was at the Creek House, but then we will jump into Rhinebeck recap and Rhinebeck acquisitions. I actually think I did pretty good. Because I think I shopped with intention. So I feel good. I feel good about my Rhinebeck purchases, but you'll see those in a bit. So yeah, other than, I don't think I have much else to update, like life-wise. Again, it's only been a week and a half and I'm not that interesting of a person. I'm recording this on my phone, so I can't check my calendar to see what we've done. I feel like I came home from the Creek House, half unpacked, worked a couple days, and then went back up to New York. I just put the suitcase away for the first time all month. 3 weeks in a row traveling, and now I'm staying home for a little bit. I'm gonna just be a homebody for a little bit. I do have a new phone though, my birthday present from my husband. I now have, I think it's the 16, it's an iPhone, 16 Pro Max, whatever the biggest one is with I really wanted the good camera. So I'm recording this on my phone in cinematic mode. There are like little squares around my head showing me that it's focusing on me. I swear I know more about photography than it sounds. I actually used to be very seriously into photography. I have a whole bunch of equipment that I no longer use and I should probably sell, but I used to be heavy into photography. I even photographed 2 weddings, which I will never do again. Probably the most stressful things I've ever done in my life were photographing those 2 weddings. That is a lot of pressure. I have officiated weddings and I have played a ton of weddings with my quartet or my trio. For those of you who don't know, I do play viola and violin, and I was a orchestra director for 18 years before I changed careers. So I have played tons of weddings. But photographing a wedding, oh my gosh. To all the professional photographers and videographers out there who do that, including the 2 amazing ones that we had for our own wedding, I don't know how y'all do it. That was so stressful. But anyway, I've gotten way off topic. So all that to say, I have a new phone, so I think it's going to focus better as I hold things up to share. Ooh. Oh, this is going to be fun. All right, cool. Let's talk knitting. I have have a finished object. This was almost finished when I was at the Creek House. These are my sourdough socks, which is part of a bigger collection called Homestead Sock Collection by Carly Perrins, who is Northwoods Knit Co. on Instagram. So I test knit, it's a collection of 3 patterns. I test knit the sourdough socks, and I did the toe up version. Carly releases all her patterns, her sock patterns, both toe up and cuff down, which is pretty incredible of her. So both do use a heel flap and gusset, or if you're doing toe up, gusset first, then heel flap construction. But these are my finished sourdough socks. So I'm not sure how well you can see the cable on the blockers, but they have a big chunky cable running down the front of the center of each sock. And I knit these in a combination of Explorer Knits and Fibers Denali sock in the colorway Balsamico, and then her Surrey alpaca base in the colorway Midwinter. So I held those together, and I got this fabric. What's that? Is that? I've already worn these, so that's just a little schmutz. My Jewish mother-in-law would be so proud that I just said schmutz. Okay. So these are the coziest socks. They're like the perfect house slipper sock. The addition of the Surrey just makes these so cozy. I'm going to take one off the blocker to see if I can get this cable to show up a little bit better. Because it's a pretty neat one. Pretty interesting. Oh, my face is still in it. Is that oh! Look at that. I feel fancy now. I'm like one of those fancy podcasters with a real camera. These socks are great. I highly recommend this pattern. Again, it's the Sourdough Socks by Carly Perrins. Highly recommend the pattern. Also highly recommend putting Surrey in your socks. I'm going to be doing it a lot from now on. And I can get rid of all my old slipper socks that I've had forever and replace them with hand knit slipper socks. I got distracted. Now Gracie is also here, and both Gracie and Gustav are looking at something. I feel like there's a bug or something. Okay. I thought I had the yarn I knit those with. Do I still have that? Yes. Here's what I have left, and you can see the colors separately. So here is the Balsamico, and this is the Midwinter on Surrey. And so those two together, and you get this. So this will get added to, it's going to look good. This will go in my fingering weight scraps bag for my anthology throw. I think this color is going to go nicely. Not sure what I'll do with this, but we'll tuck it away for now. That is my only finished object. I have made a little bit more progress on my big cozy cardie. Again, living in my Matter Root bag. I did not get a new Matter Root bag this weekend at Rhinebeck. The line to get in their booth was a little intense, and I didn't see the one that I really had my eye on. So I'm gonna keep an eye on their website and see if it pops up there eventually. But yeah, so this is my big cozy cardie, which is an Andrea Mallory pattern. I haven't done a ton on this. There's my progress keeper. So that's about where I was when I recorded my last episode. It's only been a week and a half, and it's been, I didn't knit much actually when I was up in New York. I did not knit that much actually. So and it's 335 stitches in a row, so the rows take a little bit of time. But I'm knitting this with Walcott Yarns Opus base in the color, let's see, the color is Hickory. So Walcott Yarns, 70% Argentinian Merino, 30% Baby Alpaca, 100% Awesome. It's 384 yards for 100 grams. I have 5 skeins of this, and I'm on skein number 2, and have 3 more left. I have to knit this until 30 inches, and then I need to have some, I think I need, yeah, some yarn left over for the cuffs. Do I have a tape measure? I do. So right now I am at about, this is hard to do. This is hard to do in the position I'm in. Around between 13 and 14 inches. I think last time I was between 11 and 12, so making slow but steady progress. My goal is to, as long as I can wear it at least once before March, like before winter really ends, I'll be happy. While we were in New York for Rhinebeck weekend, I did take a sock project up with me, but since I've decided I want to make my mom a pair of socks for Christmas, and I told my mother-in-law that I would make my father-in-law a pair of socks, I decided to put aside the socks I was making for myself and start my mom's socks. So I have one completed already. So I cast this on, I think I cast this on either Thursday or Friday night of last week. I think maybe Thursday night, the first night that we arrived at our Airbnb. Knit on it a tiny bit throughout the rest of the weekend, but really did the bulk of this at home. So, oh, there we go. So as long as I block my face, okay, I'll just block my face the whole time. This is the Pie Sock pattern, also by Carly Perrins of Northwoods Knit Co. This was a pattern she released for Pie Day, not this year, but maybe last year. And a bunch of dyers released special sock sets for Pie Day as well. In fact, I think it's this one. I have Woolberry's pumpkin pie sock set. So this pattern I chose because I've knit it for my mom twice before and it fits her perfectly. In fact, I'm gonna get it off this blocker because that's my biggest size and her foot is not that big and I don't want to stretch her sock out too much. The yarn is Woolberry. This is an old Woolberry sock set that I got from someone who was destashing. Colorway is Crested Butte. It's a textured stitch pattern on the top of the sock and then stockinette on the bottom and the back of the leg. And I really like how this colorway knit up. And I think my mom's really gonna like it too. So one sock done, and October's not even done. So way ahead of last year when I think I was blocking my mom's socks on Christmas Eve. So hopefully next time I record, these will be done and I'll be well on my way through socks for my father-in-law. And hopefully I'll have started my husband's cardigan. I showed the swatches for it last time. I still have not blocked those swatches, but I'll do it before the end of this weekend. I am holding the yarn. I'm going to show that later, actually. This was a Rhinebeck purchase. What I'm holding my yarn in for the socks I'm making my mom. It's so cute. I'll just give you a quick preview. I'll show that more later. Okay. Drop in tape measures. hope it didn't break. All right, I'm like all over the place today. Okay, let's talk about acquisitions, non-Rhinebeck acquisitions. All right. I don't think I'm going to go in the order that I have them listed below. So sorry about that, but I've already written up the show notes for this episode and things are not stacked in that order. So we're just going to go with it. First, I have very exciting, Jamie Lomax's new Doodle Directory book. So Jamie Lomax is Pacific Knit Co. and she is the creator of the Doodle Decks. So if you're not familiar, Doodle Decks are color work, like motifs, and that's a music term. Color work patterns that you can combine into larger projects. So the cards are they're like playing cards, and they have a little chart on them, and you can combine them in different ways and pick the ones you want to use in your project. Trying to find a page with just an example of a project without an actual chart on it. Let's see. Oh wait, I'm in the section that is just all charts, so that's why. Let's see. Wow. This is some great podcasting right here. Oh my gosh, I promise there's so many pages that like show these projects knit up. I don't know why I'm struggling so much. Okay, look at the fingerless mitts. How cool are those? Look at the mittens. Like, they're so great. Excuse me. Hat, cows, scarf, a bunch of different things in here that you can do. And so many colorwork charts. But if you ordered the book, did I pre-order it? I'm not sure if I pre-ordered it or it was just like a special bundle when it released, but it came with this great bag. And inside the bag, along with the book, there was a sticker, actually 2 stickers. And then a little pack of cards. Now I've opened this. I haven't taken them out yet though, but I did open it because I didn't want to be dealing with that on camera. I feel like I have like I have trading cards. Like, this is so cool. This is like what I used to get baseball cards, and I used to collect, they weren't Marvel, DC comic cards. Is that like who's Silver Surfer? You would think I would know. I don't know why I collected them. I just thought they were cool. All right, so there are 6 cards in here. The first one is a standard cow recipe. And then the color work, oh gosh, these are cute. Frogged Project, Yarn Chicken, Just One More Row, Sleeve Island, and Second Sock Syndrome. It's an unfinished sock. Oh, that is cute. These are awesome. How fun. They're all knitting related. Very cool. If you haven't checked it out, highly suggest. Super fun. I'm thinking fingerless mitts. I might start with fingerless mitts. I've knit at least one of Jamie Lomax's patterns before. I did the Triceratops cow. I'll try to remember to put a picture up. Triceratops cow. But I haven't done any of the doodles yet, so that will be fun. All right. I have two purchases actually from Hello Lavender. Although one was purchased through Little Fiber Co. So I'll get to that in a minute. Reshma of Hello Lavender has started dyeing fiber. Now, I myself am not a spinner. I don't know how to spin. I have never spun yarn before. But I was in Rhinebeck this weekend, and I may have visited a certain booth and brought something very exciting home with me. So I have this fiber, Hello Lavender. The colorway is Under the Sea. This is 100% Rambouillet, 20 to 23 microns, approximately 4 ounces. Take it out so you can see these colors better. It's so pretty. I think I said in my last episode, even if I don't spin it, I'll just hang it up because it's so pretty. But I think I'm going to spin it. I'll put that away later so that I don't crinkle too much. And so from Little Fiber Co., I got, has it been this long since I've shown these? I have 3 new installments of the Le Creuset Cookware Club. So we have Nectar. And then we have Oyster, which is a really pretty dark gray. And then Ganache. There we go. So again, I'm holding on to all of these until the end of the year, and then I'm going to do a Painted Honeycombs blanket by Stephen West, and I think I'm going to use Oyster as my main color because I talked to Lauren, and I can order more of this. So I think because the version of the blanket that I love the most, again, I'll try to remember to put a picture, has a very dark main color with all the other bright contrast colors. So that's kind of what I'm going for. And then she had extras of the Oyster stitch marker that Reshma created for the Cookware Club. And it was just so good. Oh, so good. There we go. Look at that. Oh, she's so good. What else? 2 more. Kate of Red Door Fiber Studio had extras of, I don't remember what her club is called this year, but she had extras. So this colorway is called Up Late, and it's gorgeous. And then this is called Star Drop Saloon. So I'm going to hold them up together. This is on her Bounce sock base, which is my favorite, 80/20 2-ply. These I may use for the Badass Brioche knit along that Needles at the Ready and Skein Scoop are doing. If I have time, we'll see. I may not have time for that. And the last thing I purchased, I took advantage of the Pearl Soho sale because I want to make my mom some washcloths and hand towels that match her shower curtain, or some of the colors in her shower. Her shower curtain is very bright and very colorful. So I got enough skeins to make, now I forget the pattern. Excuse me. It's a Pearl Soho pattern that goes with their Cotton Pure base. And it's like caddy corner, maybe. It's a set of 2 towels and 2 washcloths. I don't remember the name of it. I'll put it up. But these are the 4 colors I got. To make for my mom. And I have 2 skeins of the yellow and 2 skeins of the teal. So these colorways are I don't know how to pronounce that. John Keel yellow. John Queel yellow. Tomato orange. Gustav, that is not a good idea. Okay. Violet orchid and peacock teal. So I'll put those in the bag later. These are going to be hopefully a really fun set of hand towels and washcloths for my mom. Her birthday's in February. So once I get all this other knitting done, I can start those. All right. I'm like tired. I feel like I've already done a whole episode. 25 minutes in. If you're still here, awesome. So glad. Thanks for sticking with me. This is now the Rhinebeck recap portion of the podcast. All right, let's just get into it. This was my third year going up to New York for Rhinebeck related festivities. The first year was 2022. We were at the Creek House, actually. It was it overlapped with our long weekend at the Creek House, and I was feeling like intense wool and folk FOMO. And my husband bought tickets and drove 2 hours up into New York so that I could spend 2 hours at Woolen Folk, and then drove 2 hours back down to the Creek House because the Phillies were playing that night in a postseason game, and we had to be back in time to watch the game. So he drove 4 hours so that I could spend 2 hours at Woolen Folk. That was the first time I met Maggie of Yarnaceous Fibers, Sophie of Botanical Yarn. Who else did I purchase from that year? Coats & Co. So Happy Jane. That was a great event. That not perfect, but compared to last year, that was a great event. And then last year, my friend Gretchen and I went to Woolen Folk and Saturday of Sheep and Wool Festival. And so this year, I went with Gretchen again, but Gretchen's wife and their 2 boys also came, and they did their own thing on Friday, but then on Saturday came and hung out at the fairgrounds for Sheep and Wool. So that was fun. But we did 3 events. So on Friday, we did the first time slot at Indie Untangled. Friday night, we did the evening Woolen Affair party. And then Saturday, we did Sheep and Wool. We did not want to pack our Friday. We didn't want to go like from event to event and try to get to everything. Just that would have just been too much. And so we did our 2-hour shopping window at Indie Untangled, and then we just hung out. There was this really great platform set up outside, like a deck almost outside one of the shopping tents, and there were a bunch of Adirondack chairs. So we grabbed a couple of those and got some food from the food trucks. I had the best tamales. They were so good. And we just sat and knit for a couple hours and hung out. MJ brought the boys and they had lunch with us. It was great. Indie Untangled, it may be my favorite out of like all the fiber related events I've been to. It was just such a great vibe. Everything was chill. It was spread out. It was well managed, well organized, really great vendors. And the weather was perfect. It was just a good day. It was a good day. So I do have some photos, and I was gonna like do the whole editing thing and put them up, but I have my iPad here and this is just easier, and I'm so tired, and I know if I have to do a ton of editing to this video, who knows when it's gonna go up. So photos. Okay. All right, so, my iCloud has to, wow, that was fast. All right, so Indie Untangled. Photos are gonna, downloading from the cloud. Okay, here we go. So this was at an equestrian venue. So lots of like paddocks. Is that what they call it? Where the horses like run around and do things. Something like that. All right, here's Kim from Newburgh Yarn. It was so great to see her again. I did make a purchase at her booth. Here is Lauren of Treehouse Knits. So great to see her again. Coley of Paisley Knits came out to help Lauren with her booth. So good to see her again. This is me on a golf cart with my Fiber Hustle fan, trying to look fabulous. I brought the fan, but I didn't really need it because, again, the weather was perfect. I'm at the Grocery Girls. We were, where were we? Walking toward 29 Bridges booth, and they were just there, just shopping. And I was so excited. I love them. I love their podcast. I just love their relationship together. My sister and I were so incredibly close, and we often used to joke about growing older together and how we would continue to be like the best of friends. And so the Grocery Girls kind of remind me of that, but not in a way that makes me sad, even though I'm almost crying right now. I just like, they're so full of joy, and they're so supportive of each other, and so supportive of so many vendors and small businesses and people in this community. And they're like champions for small businesses. And their podcast has brought me a lot of joy over the last year. And so getting to meet them was really awesome. I saw them 2 more times throughout the weekend. I saw them at a Woolen Affair, and then I saw them again at the fairgrounds. And Jody's like, "Are you stalking us?" I was like, "Not intentionally, I promise." Just kept running into them. So those are all the photos I took at Indie Untangled. So I'll show you what I got. I'm happy to say that all but one of my purchases from Rhinebeck weekend fit in my Fiber Festival tote bag of choice. Okay, I gotta move my sheep and wool purchases out of the way because they're on the top. Okay, and that. All right. So because we were in the first time slot at Indie Untangled, we got the goodie bag loaded with goodies. So not only did we get the gorgeous bag, it is loaded with fun goodies. I'm not going to show all of them because we'll be here for a long time. We've already been here for a long time. But I am going to show a few things. There's a phone wristlet from Lemonwood. They're from 29 Bridges, needle gauge, and gauge swatch ruler. How great is that? There's a bunch of stitch markers in here. Something smells really good. What smells good in here? Oh, it's this. Scented Stitches. Some of their Calm Stitch Balm. There's a really cute set of stitch markers in here that have little rabbits on them, and they mark right side and wrong side. So the right side is the front of the bunny, and the wrong side is the back of the bunny with the little bunny tail. It's really cute. If I can find that one, I'll show. Oh, found it. they're really cute, and I want to give a shout out to the vendor. Sorry for all the crinkling. I haven't really unpacked all this stuff yet because I was waiting. So it's called Rabbit Row, and here's the little rabbits. Aren't they cute? So cute. And these are all like goodies, free goodies in the bag. One of the things I'm really excited about is this from Nitty City. This is a pair of compression gloves, fingerless compression gloves. I can't wait to try knitting with these. Now these are a size medium. I probably should be wearing a size large, but we're not going to complain because it's free and very generous of them to put it in the bag. And it's compression, so it's supposed to be tight, but I'm going to try knitting with these and see how they feel. And if I like them, but they're a little too tight, I think I'm going to order a pair of them the size large. I can't get them off. And then maybe offer up this medium pair to a viewer or something. That would be fun. So yeah, so the goodie bag was really fantastic. There's even a pair of, there's like a pair of snips in here from Mitchell Wool Co. Great goodie bag. Now, and this bag was inside the goodie bag. So this was also a freebie, but I just put my purchases in here to keep it separate from all the other stuff. One of my purchases would not fit in that bag, and it is this Breed Exploration Starter Pack of fiber from Kira Wiggins. So in this bag, there are 6 20-gram samples of blue-faced Leicester, Corriedale, Merino, Polworth, Shetland, and Superwash Merino. And it's just bare fiber, not dyed. And I'm really excited to have some little bits of fiber to start my spinning journey with. I just thought this was a really cool idea, really smart to package it up this way, and very reasonably priced, I thought. Newburgh Yarn Co. Kim, the dyer and owner of Newburgh, she had a pre-order going, and I purposefully didn't order anything in the pre-order because I wanted to see what she was bringing to Indie Untangled, and she brought what I wanted. She brought the tweed mini set. So this is her autumn weekend collection, and I bought this because I'm collecting tweed minis for a crochet blanket. So I have a lot of tweed minis from Explorer Knits and Fibers, and it's the same tweed base. It's the 85% superwash merino, 15% Donegal nep. I think it's 2-ply, 87 yards, 20 grams each. And these colors will go really nicely with what I've already been collecting. So thank you, Kim, for saving me a pre-order. All right, Kat from Why Not Fibers was also at Indie Untangled, and she is a dyer that I met the first time I went to Woolen Folk 2 years ago, and I purchased yarn from her to make my basket weaver shawl by Stephen West. I got 4 skeins of her Slack DK base, which is gorgeous. It's a blend of, I think it's merino, yak, and silk. The squishiest, most beautiful squishy DK base, but then the yak, so the color's like real deep and moody. And Kat's colors are just gorgeous to begin with. Like, she doesn't really do variegated and speckled yarn, like tonals, like that's her jam, and she's good at it. Her colors are so good. She brought a new base with her to Indie Untangled. The base is called Sprite. It is 50% mohair, and 50% Corriedale. DK weight, 150 yards in a 50-gram skein. I mean, can you see how good this base is? Sorry, I'm still getting used to this new camera. I'm so glad you can like actually see that ply and how it's spun. It feels, oh, it smells good too. It feels so good. And the colors, again, she's so good with color. This colorway is Ripple, and this colorway is Moss. And it looks like she's grouped them into a collection called Fall 2024 Vintage. I think these are going to become a hat. Maybe a brioche hat. Should that be the thumbnail? I already created a thumbnail for this podcast. It's not going to be this. But like, how good is this going to look? Excuse me. Scratchy throat today. It's really bothering me. Why Not Fibers? Check her out. She's in Michigan, Traverse City, I think Michigan. Everything she does is gorgeous. And then the last yarn I got from Indie Untangled is one skein of Sea Change Fibers, Bloom Tweed Worsted. This is a dyer that was at Flock, and by the time I got to their booth, they were sold out of some of the things that I was hoping to see in person. So when I saw they were going to be at Indie, I made sure that I got there early. This is a worsted tweed base, 89% US Merino Rambouillet blend, 11% acrylic / rayon neps. I have just been really into this, these different variations of tweed that a lot of dyers are stocking lately, the different color neps. And I really wanted a dark base with colored neps. And again, I think this is going to be a hat. And I love it so much. So that's, again, Sea Change Fibers. And that was all the yarn I bought. So my only other purchases are, they're little, but they're good. I got my Indie Untangled merit badge. What is it focusing on? Is it focusing on my hand? What's going on? There we go. So I got my merit badge from Camp Stitchwood. I got this super cute and so pretty teacup. Let's see. This teacup stitch marker, well, progress keeper from Sassafras Knits. And I got it because not only is it just adorable, but it reminds me of my great-grandmother's china. So, so that had to buy that. That's special. And then I got this one, this little wooden one from Tinker's Hollow. This was their special show stitch marker. Real cute. And then Gretchen came over and surprised me. She went to a booth without me and came back with what she said, here's a belated birthday present. So if you don't know, I am obsessed with corgis. I've never had one. I've never had a dog in my life, but when my husband and I retire, corgis all the way. So Gretchen got me this super cute pin with a corgi and a yarn ball. So that's from Shiny Wear Co. So this is going to go on my Fiber Festival bag. So those were my purchases from Indie Untangled. So again, after we were done shopping, we just sat and we hung out and we knit and we enjoyed the weather and talking to people. One woman walked by in a corgi sweater, and I just couldn't even control myself. I just shouted, "Excuse me!" like, and somehow she knew I was talking to her, and she turned around and was not offended. And so I said, "Is that a sweater with corgis?" And she said, "Sure is." I was like, "What is that called?" And I think it's called corgi sweater. I already have favorited it on Ravelry, and I'm about to make all your lives better by showing it to you. There it is. Yeah, it's called corgi sweater. You guys, corgi color work. I wonder if it's size inclusive. Holy shit. Yeah, that is not size inclusive at all. Are you serious? Body circumference goes up to 46 stitches? Is that can't... Forget I mentioned it. Okay, I'm a little sad now. Can someone else design a corgi sweater and make it size inclusive? Because now I want one. I have a corgi hoodie. A corgi riding a dinosaur under a rainbow. My husband bought it for me. Anyway, so that was in the Untangled. Gretchen and I did drive into Saugerties and went to the Perfect Blend yarn store. We just ducked in and out for a quick visit to check it out. There were a lot of people inside and it was pretty warm. It looked lovely, but we were just kind of both at the point where we were ready to call it an afternoon. We went back to our Airbnb and we just kind of relaxed before going to a Woolen Affair. So a Woolen Affair was held at, I think it's an orchard, but also maybe they make their own wine. It's called Rose Hill Farm. And oh, here's a picture of a Perfect Blend. Look how lovely with the pumpkins. It was a really beautiful shop. All right, so here's the road that we were driving on to get to Woolen Affair. I don't think I'm going to edit this video. If I said earlier in this video a few times, like I'll put a photo up, I'm not going to do that. I just know I'm not going to. This is going to be another non-edited episode. Hopefully y'all are okay with that. We'll get it together eventually. But here's Rose Hill Farm. And so we got there pretty early, but they let us check in. Vendors were packing up everything. People who had gone to the last shopping time, I think they just stayed and kind of hung out until the party officially started. Gretchen and I found a picnic table. We sat down, met some lovely ladies. I'll do a couple shout outs. Hold on, I have to go on Instagram for that. We met, all right, let's see. All right, so we met Catherine. Her Instagram handle is Beach Knits with a Z. So BEACHKNITZ. She was lovely. We had a great time hanging out with her. And then someone that Gretchen knew, her name is Carla. She came over to our table. She's like, is there room at this table? And we were like, yeah. And then she and Gretchen kind of looked at each other and they're like, wait a minute, I know you. So Carla is a lovely, lovely person and a really beautiful knitter. She's done a lot of test knitting of some really great patterns. But her Instagram is CLMorgan802. So we met Carla. And then Carla's friend Renee, and her Instagram username is Renee Knits. It's RENE.KNITS. And her profile photo is her cat, so you know she's good people. They were lovely. So we spent most of the night hanging out at our picnic table with them. Fantastic. See, here's what I love about this. I was rewatching some other podcasters' Rhinebeck recaps from 2023 during the week leading up because I wanted to, I was making a list of vendors that I wanted to make sure I checked out at Sheep and Wool Festival. So I rewatched, I think, Skein Scoop, Needles at the Ready, and I also watched Michael's recap from last year, Piece for Piece crafting podcast. He mentioned in his episode something to the effect of, you know, I'm still making friends as an adult, or how lovely it is to be making friends as an adult. And I think that's just such a lovely way to kind of describe this feeling of, not that everyone you meet at these festivals is like instantly going to become your friend, but there's just already this shared interest and love and camaraderie and like knowledge and connection with all the people who are at these events, and they're always like just so kind and interested in what you're wearing and who you are. And you know, I love going to these events to be reminded in person of all the love on the other side of the screens, all these people that I follow online, all these people that have gotten me through some pretty hard years. Any chance I get to see them in person, give them a squeeze, it just makes me really happy. So, and that's what a Woolen Affair was. There was no shopping. It was just time to hang out, and it was great. I had a lobster roll with caviar. Like, come on now. Apparently the comet was visible. I couldn't see it until like it was almost gone. But at one point, like I looked at Gretchen was like walking up into the orchard. I'm like, oh, I think Gretchen's going on a hike, but she was going to get a better view of the comet. But I got to meet, speaking of Michael from Piece for Piece, and Mari from Colorado Knitter. Got to meet both of them. They were lovely. And I got to see Kevin and Ray again of Needles at the Ready. And yes, I am wearing my Childless Cat Lady sweatshirt. That thing made many friends that evening. Everywhere I went on that farm, that sweatshirt made a new friend. And this is a picture I took of me when I was going to sleep that night, just to capture the happiness I was feeling. So yeah, Woolen Affair was lovely. There was a bar. I had hot apple cider with rye whiskey and bitters. And it was delicious. There was live music. I got to see Mariah, who works at Pearls of Wisdom down here in Pennsylvania. So I got to see her. Saw the Grocery Girls again. Saw Emily of the Botanical Knitter. But she was kind of coming in as I was heading back to our picnic area. So thankfully I got to see her the next day at the fairgrounds and talk to her more. They did have their merch booth open at the evening party, and they still had some of the special Woolen Affair color from Spin Cycle. So I got one skein of this as a souvenir, and I'll make something special out of this to remember that evening. The color is Deep Thoughts, and it's really good. I can't wait to see how this looks knit up. So then I think we left a Woolen Affair the party went from 6 to 9. I think we left between 8:30 and 9. And we got back to our Airbnb, and it was pretty much quick to bed. It was a long day, but it was just such a good day. Oh, it was such a good day. So then Saturday, we woke up. The boys were getting a little restless. And they had already been up for a couple of hours by the time I woke up. So Gretchen and MJ packed up and took the boys to the fairgrounds probably about an hour before I went to the fairgrounds. I knew I did not want to get there right when it opened at 9. I knew I couldn't stand in a line with everybody waiting to get in. And I wasn't in like a mad rush to get to any specific booths, which is why I didn't get a Matter Root bag, but that's okay. I took my time, checked out of the Airbnb, stopped for a breakfast sandwich and coffee on the way to the fairgrounds, and got there when I got there. I got a decent parking spot, a little bit of a walk. I mean, you're gonna walk everywhere. It's a huge fairgrounds. So by the time I got into, like, had my ticket scanned and got into the gate, my back was screaming a little bit, but there are so many places to sit. Sorry, there are so many places to sit at the fairgrounds that I did use my stool. Oh, my stool was like the hero of the weekend. That thing was awesome. I used it a few times on Friday. And a few times on Saturday, and I was so glad to have it with me. But again, the fairgrounds, there's tons of places to sit, so I didn't have to use it a ton, but it was there when I needed it. So I got into the fairgrounds. Gretchen and I had shared our location with each other, so like I had her dot on the map, but there were so many people there. Like, even if our dots were on top of each other, we still had to call each other. I'm like, where are you? And she's like, I'm by the food trucks. I'm like, me too, but I can't find you. But we did find each other eventually. But I think I spent like at least the first hour just kind of working through my list and visiting the vendors that I wanted to see and taking my time and just going through slowly. I started in barn 31 for 3 reasons. 1, I wanted to check out Matter Root's booth. It was too crowded, so I decided to keep walking. And before I went into barn 31, the Knitting Posse ladies and Kevin and Ray and Michael and Marty, who's Colorado knitter, like they were all coming out, so it was cool to get to see them again. So I skipped Matter Root. I had 2 bags of yarn that I filled to donate to Bat and Kill Fiber. They were collecting yarn for people who lost their yarn stashes or fabric. They were also collecting fabric for people who lost their yarn or fabric stashes in the recent hurricanes. So I brought 2 bags of my stash yarn and donated that. So Cece's Wool was one of the booths where you could drop off donations. So they were also in 31. So I needed to go there. And it's always fun to look at their yarn. And then I made my first purchase of the day. You guys, I did it. I bought myself the EEW 6.1 e-spinner from Dreaming Robots. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I haven't set it up or unpacked it or anything yet. I wanted to wait till I recorded this episode. I want to finish a couple knitting projects before I jump into the spinning. But I have an e-spinner now, and I'm really excited. She, the woman at the booth, showed me, like, let me try it and kind of showed me a basic motion. And so I started doing it, and she said, and you know, she's trying to sell stuff. I don't know. She said that I did really well, really quickly. I don't know if that's actually true, but I'm really excited to learn how to do this. I do have this annoying habit of usually picking things up pretty quickly, but then I like hit a wall or I plateau and it's like hard for me to push to the next level. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I got an e-spinner. All right, so then I was done building 31, and then I walked through a couple other barns. I walked past Katrinkle's booth. They were mobbed, like they always are. So I didn't get any of the special Rhinebeck stitch markers. But I did stop at the Clean Cashmere booth. And I was not going to buy anything. I was just going to look at it and feel it. But then I kept looking at it and I kept squishing it. And I ended up buying one skein. These are not cheap skeins of yarn. This skein of yarn was $60. But it is 100% made in the US, clean cashmere, certified. It costs more money to do things humanely and correctly and ethically, and it's 50% cashmere, 50% US merino, and the color is so good. So there's their clean cashmere. This is a sport weight, 2-ply, 160 yards in a 50-gram skein. I am going to make, I think, a pair of fingerless mitts with these. I just want this on my hands and wrists. So I got my precious skein of clean cashmere in this cute little bag. So that's gonna have to be tucked somewhere where Gustav can't get to it, because if he gets his claws into that yarn, I'm gonna be very sad. Oh, here, this is handy. Another booth that I stopped at, and again, through rewatching recap episodes, Skein Scoop talked about this vendor last year. They're called Cottontail Farm, and they make a lot of different bags, but what I was interested in are these little, like, just the perfect size for one cake of yarn. So of course, I had to get the dinosaur. And really cool is that it unsnaps, so you can snap it onto your belt or your bag strap, or it's a little tight for my wrist, but in a pinch you could do it. It'll be interesting to see how a full cake of yarn fits in this, because this is after knitting one sock. So it's pretty snug in there, but it's so great. This is so great. These were a hot ticket item. I was standing there waiting my turn to like get close enough to look through all the different fabric options, because they had so many. And this woman came up behind me. She's like, "Are you waiting?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm to look at those." And she's like, "Oh, well, I'm not as nice as you," and just like pushed her way right on in there. And I'm like, I kind of can't wait till I'm like 60 and just don't give a shit what well, I'm kind of already there. But I don't know. I do think, wait your turn. And then she took a long time, and then I got like really annoyed, and so then I kind of like pushed my way in. It was like unnecessary nonsense. Just wait your turn. But I got what I wanted. But I'm not as nice as you. Well, I'm not as nice as you. That's what she said. Oh, hey, you do you, lady. All right. Is this my last two? I think that's... All right, last two purchases. All right, I did it. I went to the Going Gnome booth. But this is a present for Brent. because Brett has really gotten into needle felting lately. He really enjoys it. So I got him the baby penguins. And yes, one of them is totally going to be for me. I also got myself a little felted penguin sticker because it was really cute. And they threw a pin in my bag. So that'll go on my Fiber Festival bag. Let me see if I can grab it. Oh, it's cute. Oh my gosh. It actually says New York Sheep and Wool 2024, and it has the special 2024 Rhinebeck gnome on it. Oh, that's cool. So that's a little extra special. All right, last purchase. And this was directly thanks to rewatching the Needles at the Ready episode. Kevin and Ray talked about this company, I think last year or the year before. I watched their last 2 recaps. I don't remember which year, but this company is called Long Island Yarn and Farm. And so I love handmade soap. I only use bars of soap in the shower. I don't use body wash or bottles of things. I just buy handmade soap. And so this one is, it's called their Shepherdess soap. And I got the honey almond scent. It's really good. It just smells so clean. It says, our all-natural Shepherdess soap cleanses gently and nurtures dry, sensitive skin with high-quality lanolin. So it has sunflower oil, organic and sustainable palm oil. Interesting. Coconut oil, olive oil, lanolin, honey, an essential oil and fragrance oil blend, and rosemary extract. So I got that, and I also got, again, directly influenced by Ray, specifically, I got one of their felted soap kits. And I got the scent Cypress Pine. And so I think, I haven't opened this yet, but I think there's a bar of soap in here. Oh God, that smells so good. So there's bar of soap in here, and then there's a bunch of fiber, and then there's a little bag of it's like twine and some colored fiber. And I'm assuming the directions are in here. It's called a llama loofah. Llama loofah. Look at that. Hold on. Try that again. Llama loofah. So I, unlike Brent, I enjoy needle felting. I have not like completely, like it's not going to become something I do all the time, but I love the idea of doing some needle felting and then having a nice scrubby loofah for the shower. So that'll be fun. And that is it for my purchases. I only bought 1 skein of yarn in all of New York Sheep and Wool Festival. I will say there are a couple booths I did not make it to that I definitely am going to need to make sure I have on my list for next year. Harrisville Designs. I definitely want to make it there next year. Another one, well, they were at Untangled, North Bay Fiber Co. I don't know how I just walked entirely by their booth. Like, I don't know how that happened, but I'll make sure I stop next time. A few more pictures before I end this. This is my outfit for Saturday at Sheep and Wool. I wore just a t-shirt with my basket weaver shawl and my hat. Again, perfect weather. Maybe a touch warm, but after the rain last year, oh, it was just so good. It was crowded. But here's Emily the Botanical Knitter. She was helping out at the Fiber MacGyver booth. So I got to talk to her a bit, which was lovely. Here's my friend NJ. And then here's Gretchen. And finally, the reason I went, so I was getting ready to leave, but before I started the walk back to my car, I went to the hill one more time, specifically because I really wanted to see Justine from Never Not Knitting, Rhode Island, and Lori of Skein Yarn Shop, and together they do the Skein Scoop podcast. I really wanted to see them, and I had not seen them at all. They were the only ones that like I really wanted to see, but had not seen the entire weekend. And as I was walking kind of down the hill, they were coming up the hill with fried pickles, and they were there, and I got to meet them, and they were so lovely, so nice. Lori gave me one of her pickles. I got to talk to Justine about, we're both former music teachers, so that's cool. But I got to say hi to them and meet them in person, so that was really great. I'm hoping we might, for spring break this year, for my spring break, go up to Connecticut. I want to take Brent to Mohegan Sun, and then also go to Rhode Island, so I can go to Skein Yarn Shop. So yeah. There is like stuff everywhere. I'm surrounded by stuff. So now I have to clean this up. So let me end this before it gets even longer. And then I can clean up while this is uploading to YouTube. Again, sorry for the lack of proper editing. We'll get back on track with the next episode. But this was a special one. So thank you for watching. If I met you this weekend and got to hang out with you and say hello to you or give you a hug, thank you for being awesome. I really am so glad that I started this podcast. I wasn't sure if I would stick with it. I wasn't sure if anyone would watch. So to those of you who have been watching, thank you. To those of you who have subscribed or left comments or given the videos the little thumbs up, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you enjoyed this, I hope you'll stick around for more and consider subscribing. And hopefully I will be back in less than a month with lots of finished objects. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.